The reason for the Bloodline SmackDown absence has been revealed. Plus, WWE stars appeared at the TNA Impact tapings, and WWE could be signing a huge TNA name. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. So this past Friday on SmackDown, we had a VT from the Bloodline promising, bad things to the Street Profits and DIY, and Solo saying, "Hey, I want another WWE title match, you trickster." They didn't say it in that way. They said it in a far more imposing manner. But that was all we had from the Bloodline, but for good reason, as we've discovered.
Absolutely. The Anoa'i family, including Jey Uso, who of course also missed Bash in Berlin, was saying farewell to Afa Anoa'i. It was the funeral of the late great Afa over the weekend. Afa's daughter sharing videos of the really amazing, they did this hacker tribute paid to him, as well as the many, many gifts left for her father. So it was with good reason that they missed the show. We didn't see any Bloodline stuff at all, Bash in Berlin either. It was a Bloodline-free show, but it looked like just an amazing gathering way of paying tribute to him. It was really, really touching.
So if you're wondering why some of the key characters from a lot of storylines at the moment weren't there, that's because they were all saying their best wishes and saying farewell to Afa Anoa'i over the weekend. Now, the WWE TV premieres are on the horizon. Even though the show never ends, it's a season premiere. We've got, obviously, NXT going to the CW. We've got a new home for SmackDown. Not to be outdone, Raw on the USA Network has shared a photo of the WWE Raw roster, omitting the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar. Now, obviously, they've not been on telly for a while. They are still part of the roster. They're both dealing with their own respective injuries, and Ivar has commented on this, quote, retweeting the USA Network image with the class of Monday Night Raw, with him absent, with the caption, cool.
Grow up. You're hurt. You're out of hurt. Right. I don't know the schedule for the Viking Raiders return to television. But if you're not active, then you can't complain too much, can you?
You just don't want to be forgotten about though when you're on the bench.
Yeah, but they might not even be. You also don't want to advertise wrestlers who might not be on the show. That's worse than leaving Ivar. I like Ivar. I think Ivar's class. I love the Viking Raiders experience, going back to their days on the indies. They are an amazing tag team, but you're out hurt. Just chill out for a bit. Wrestlers whinging on Twitter all the time.
Our top story. Without it, we wouldn't have a lot of top stories. So keep on whinging, guys. Dominic Mysterio, in an interview with the Gorilla Position, was asked about the likelihood of a match between him and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, he said, "I don't think they'd book it, but I'm here for it." Yeah, I'd do it. I mean, let's just leave it at that. Rhea has since responded saying, "Bring it."
Nice.
Bring it. I really, really want to see this because as far as I'm concerned, it's not really an intergender match. It's an interspecies match because Rhea Ripley is a beautiful human being. Dominic Mysterio is a dog. No, he's a rat. He's a rat. He's a horrible
rat.
And wrestling could do with more interspecies matches for sure. You know what? I think you can get away with it because I understand why they don't do it and the advertisers having a problem with it. But we have seen them in recent years, haven't we? We saw Sasha Banks versus Reggie in 2021, which Tom reminded me of before the video started. I've got no recollection of that at all.
During the pandemic era, there's a lot of stuff we forget about.
It's a blur. Before that, we saw James Ellsworth versus Becky Lynch. And Rhea, we're waiting for Rhea to hit Dom with a riptide. I still think we're going to get that at some point. Why not get bloody 10 minutes out of it?
We also technically had Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss. Just remember
that's a stretch.
That is a stretch Armstrong, that is, admittedly. But it was a thing that was technically advertised to happen, but they found a way to sort of build their way around it. But I think it's obvious that the big money is in Dom versus Rhea. They did that decibel thing in the corner for Bash in Berlin. Arguably, and I'll need to double check this, but the highest decibel reading was for when Rhea had Dom in the corner in what I call everyone's dream. And it went, I think it went over 115 to 120 on that one.
Did it get that high?
Oh, it was touching it. It was touching it. Don't quote me on that.
Andrew is convinced that is a work, but I saw a photo with an iPhone hooked up to a microphone. It never seems to matter. Like when Cody comes out, right? And he's like, whoa! it doesn't do anything. It comes so I think there's a delay, and they've got to sort the delay out because it doesn't match what you're hearing. But I'm convinced that's real. I can't imagine WWE faking anything. It'd be outrageous.
Why would wrestling lie to us? Ever. WWE could be signing a huge name from TNA. Looks like Jordynne Grace could be WWE bound soon. Now, her contract was recently reported to be up in the summer of next year. There's been a few hints that have suggested that time may be coming around a little sooner than we anticipated.
Quite a big one. Just in the last few hours, she tweeted, "Time to play the game," which to me, by the way, suggests that she might be going straight to the main roster, because that's Triple H's thing. If it was Sean, she'd have tweeted, "I'm a sexy boy." I don't know what she would have tweeted. Something like that. Recently as well, Grace.
If it was NXT, she'd have tweeted, "Oh, isn't God brilliant?"
Recently, Grace also announced on an Instagram post that her OF page, you know what it means, would be closing down in the next few months. Obviously, WWE don't allow that kind of content.
Naughty.
And it's been a big talking point, and a big reason that Mandy Rose left. She was making £1 million or $1 million a month doing that, way higher than she was getting paid in the Fed. So that's happened as well. She did delete that soon after, but a fair few.
It was because she put, "Hey, look, my OF's off in a couple of months," to which everybody went, "Oh, time to play the game." Isn't God brilliant? And in doing so, she deleted that bit of the caption just to kind of throw people off the scent. But if you're putting time to play the game, it kind of suggests that we're close to it. I wouldn't be shocked if WWE are just going, "Here's a bag of money. Off you go." Because, I mean, like, whilst Joe Hendry hasn't been signed to WWE, a lot of people feel like it's a Thanos-like inevitability. But at the moment, he's kind of got the best of both worlds. He's working with TNA, but he's training at the Performance Center. He main evented a WWE event last night. I want to say a premium live event, because it was a network event, wasn't it? But it's an arena event. Mm-hmm. He headlined it. And how many TNA guys have done that?
Still gets to work the indies.
Yeah.
He's still getting to obviously do TNA. He's got like a fair bit of creative freedom away from WWE, TNA. So I imagine he's a very happy boy, and he's still getting the massive pops. With regard to Jordynne Grace, I think Sean would be gutted. He's said in the past he's a massive fan of her work. Yeah. He's desperate to have her on the books. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if she went straight to the main roster, but what a get. She is unlike anybody else. She is a specimen, isn't she? She's incredible.
And it feels like that they're kind of gearing her up for the main roster, or at least the WWE time, in numerous different ways. TNA taped some episodes of Impact yesterday, and as part of those tapings, spoilers ahead, by the way, if you don't want them, we saw NXT stars Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace in the mix with Jordynne Grace. We saw Grace having an open challenge answered by Petrovic, and Ariana Grace got into it as well. So I feel like this has been a steady stream of NXT female talent that has been fed to Jordynne Grace over the past few months. I feel like this is kind of just getting her ready for the next step along.
Yeah, it's quite funny because they're sending all these people for Jordynne Grace to eat, essentially, knowing that they're going to get Jordynne Grace. So it's like, oh, that's cool. Some NXT stars are losing on TNA show. We'll have your champ. we'll have the one that like is beating them all anyway.
Seems like a perfectly fair trade. Don't see what the problem is. It's the first time I've been doing the news since All In. My voice fell
back.
Over. Welcome back.
Welcome.
So my voice
you
fell
still
over.
Got it.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody that came along and said hi. We had a lovely time on Wembley Way.
Wonderful.
Had a lovely time at North. Had a lovely time at Progress, despite the fact that my voice turned into a bag of gravel and I had to quit like 7 matches in.
Replaced by Rufus Hound of all people.
Of course, the obvious choice. Rufus Hound, who never ring announced before until that night. So basically, I became like Rufus Hound's runner for the rest of the evening, sort of prepping his cue cards and stuff. He did a grand job. Honestly, top marks.
What a worker.
Yeah, and thanks to Progress for being cool about that. Sorry about my voice falling over. If you have me back, I promise not to let it happen again. On the channel coming up, the WTF moments for Bash in Berlin. Mm-hmm. It was a really fun show, but there were a couple of fun moments in there that I thought were WTF worthy.
Yeah, it's not one to be missed, as always, of course. And then coming this week, it's another week of pay-per-view stuff. You've got a music quiz coming tomorrow. You've got pitches, predictions. It's 3 on the trot, 3 weeks weeks on the trot of this, and then next week a slightly more regular week, and we'll stick some lists out or something.
We might do. We'll stick some lists right up here if you're good. And for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.